If you're new to 3D modeling, I highly recommend that you check out Autodesk Tinkercad. It's a really simple, intuitive program. You can see in the gallery different projects that people have made, and then you can modify those projects. And I'm always impressed at the level of detail people are able to get in this rather simple software. Once you're confident with something like this, then maybe move on to something like Blender or Maya. Blender is open source, so it's free. Autodesk software, and that's who owns this, is free to students with your student email. But they are definitely more complicated. And there's all different ones depending on what kind of modeling you're going to do. So under resources, you can go to the Learning Center and go through some basic tutorials about how to interact with this software. And it's a web-based software, so you don't have to download anything, though you can get the iPad app. So let's just go and start designing. I'll start tinkering, and I have classes that I've made so that I could collaborate with people and see my students' works. But I'm going to go ahead and go to designs and hit the plus sign and create a new 3D design. So I get this workspace, and these are the views that I can take. I can also move around with the left mouse button in the space. There's all these different primitive shapes. So you can bring these out, you can color them, you can resize them, you can, input things manually, or you can kind of interact with it out here. Less precise, but more intuitive. You can make things into holes, so I could make this a hole, and then move around, push that in, and so now it's chopping out that, and let me make sure that this one is solid, and so that is going to be a hole in it. So that's how it'll be represented. And then you've got text and all kinds of things to start with. So you've got basic shapes and some different tools here. Ooh, just changed my work plane. So got my ruler there, so you can adjust your work plane, put it back where it came from, and grab this one, and I can flip-flop it and snap things, or cruise them, is what they're calling it. And of course, show and hide, and these are combined, so I can combine two things together. Let me grab this out, and we'll do that. We'll put that there, and we'll shift select both of them, and we can combine them into one shape, and then uncombine them if we want. We can also align them to each other. So once you've made something that you like, you can export it. There are different models, so there is a simulation model, there's sort of your Minecraft style, and then there's your Lego style building if you like to build in those spaces. I'll go back here, and we're going to export. You can export as an OBJ or an STL. The OBJ is going to have a separate texture file, but if you're printing, you really only need the STL. If you're just creating a pathway to cut with, say, a laser cutter, then you would use the SVG. But say I wanted to have this with the texture, I'll do it that way. It is going to give me extract, right click, extract all. I don't want to deal with zipped up files. I need to unzip them for them to read properly. Okay, so we see that I have my material file and my 3D object. So my material file, I don't know what it's going to try to open it in now that I've done that, is going to be the skin of it. Oh, yeah, and then you've got your separate 3D object. If we export as an STL, we'll see that it's just going to give us an STL as is, and then we can bring that into MakerBot Cloud Print and get it set up for printing.